In a post-apocalyptic interpretation of Earth, civilization is dependent on remnants of an existence prior to nuclear activity. Although, for a town leader who goes by Mr. Goldsmith, it's his faithfulness and one towards the old man in the cave that helps him survive in The Twilight Zone. The year is 1974, and 10 years prior, there was nuclear activity that brought daily routines at a halt and into an apocalyptic state. Throughout this episode, we follow a certain group of survivors that's led by a man named Mr. Goldsmith, and since their world has been fragments of debris and of modern vehicles driven by horseback, Goldsmith and these people have been following along with a voice that's known as the Old Man in the Cave. But their way of life will be shaken further when a small group of soldiers, led by a guy named Major French, would arrive, and instantly these leaders with juxtaposed ideals and reasons for being alive in each other's presence are at ends. For Goldsmith, he has seen those trying to frame themselves as authority figures, and who found themselves unsuccessful. And for French, he's seen those who were left alive and having what he considered to be outlandish beliefs. So with that in mind, the debate between a pursuit of organizing versus holding on to faith is challenged, and that's even stressed on certain necessities. On the one hand, Goldsmith was told by the old man that the food they did find likely has been contaminated with radiation. On the other hand, because the food has been contained, French does believe that they shouldn't refrain from taking advantage of what is left, and is a skeptic of the old man. And surprisingly but not, the community begins to gather around French instead of Goldsmith, and decide that they want to live and not just survive. They not only eat the canned food and disobey the wisdom they were given, but they also find leftover drinks that they indulge upon, and with strength in numbers, rise against the old man and make Goldsmith open up the cave. Somehow, the cave itself has a hidden switch that opens a sliding door, and thus reveals that the old man was not human at all, but a machine that had been sustaining their lives through its artificial complex intelligence. And in a uniform rage, all but Goldsmith break the machine and intend on more chaos ensuing in the town. And that is the case until Goldsmith is the only one left alive. And as he and the audience foresee the second twist in this plot in a wide shot, we look around at those he once knew and see Goldsmith offer the last word.
We talked about the ways that men could die. We forgot the chief method of execution. We forgot faithlessness, Major French.
Old Man in the Cave doesn't tell you what it's about right away, and it lets the citizens in this town, outsiders or passersby, to find out and make their choice. And with that, it holds a resonance that leaves me rather speechless. It holds onto visuals for you to absorb. It lets you viscerally feel the anxieties of people struggling to trust what could or couldn't be the right decision. And it offers an ending note on if Goldsmith will continue that mentality of everything can be okay. And the camera focusing on Goldsmith's strong-headed but vulnerable state of mind, and seeing his face not offer a smile at any point, made me realize how differently this episode struck me than the others in the series. This episode could be interpreted as conformity versus individuality. This episode could touch upon any epidemic or pandemic that can strike any community, and could be even more relevant in that case. And this episode could be reflected on the optimism we can try to sustain in a world that can often project the opposite. But no matter the interpretation, I enjoy the final product for being open-ended. And that's where I leave it to you.